Kuwait jails journalists for supporting Israel, the Muslim Brotherhood's role. In a dramatic clash between modernization and entrenched ideology, Kuwaiti journalist Fajr al-Sayed has been jailed for advocating for the normalization of ties with Israel, defying a 1964 law that strictly prohibits engagement with the Jewish state. Quote, "We cannot afford to remain stuck in the past," she argued, emphasizing the cooperation with Israel could help modernize Kuwait's economy and technological sector. Her imprisonment has ignited fierce debate, exposing internal tensions with Kuwait's political landscape, particularly the influence of the Muslim Brotherhood with its local affiliate, the Islamic Constitutional Movement, or ICM for short, which has long opposed any diplomatic shift towards Israel. While countries like the UAE and Bahrain embraced normalization under the Abraham Accords, Kuwait remains a stronghold of anti Israel sentiment, largely due to the Brotherhood's deep ideological grip. However, Al Said's case signals a potential turning point, as growing tensions between the Kuwaiti government and the Islamist factions suggest that the nation might be at the cusp of a larger geopolitical reckoning. I'm feeling like I'm having a hard time talking because of my stuffy nose still. But regardless,
Right.
I thought that this was a really interesting thing to cover. One, because Kuwait usually isn't on my radar. And two, to kind of show that there is a demand within these countries of people who are very open and advocating that they want a closer relationship with Israel. And unfortunately, I think that's an amazing positive thing, but they're paying a price for it.
Do you know what she says specifically?
Um, Let me try to find the quote.
Also, is the
Like,
government? Do you get a sense? I mean, we haven't been following Kuwait for a very long time, but for people who might know more, is it the sense that the government is doing this because the government wants to do this, or the government is trying to appease the Muslim? Like, is the government scared of of the Muslim Brotherhood influence, and they're basically trying to just give in to their demand, while also at the same time trying to maybe follow the lead of countries like Saudi Arabia and UAE, and eventually, because we know the back and forth in like Saudi Arabia, right? We know Saudi Arabia is desperate in to jump into the arms of Israel. Like Saudi Arabia, if the population of Muslims allow them, they would just complete. They would let Israel just. They would make love with Israel. That's what they would do. Okay, they would just no, seriously. Saudi Arabia, if the Muslim population would let them, they would just jump into their arm of Israel and would like, take me, daddy. They would do that. Take me, daddy. Daddy, US is abandoning me. Please, I need a strong as a country to protect me in the region.
I need a defender.
I need a
Um,
defender. They would do that in a heartbeat. So I don't know if Kuwait is also like that. Is like wants to do that but can't because of the people, or what is the
so
political dynamic
on one
there?
part they have the ICM, which is the Muslim Brotherhood, has a solid base of support that can be traced back like all the way to the 1930s and the 1940s. And partly they did this through a charitable arm called the Social Reform Society, which has been accused of financing terrorism. But basically, they are advocating, I mean, not surprisingly, for a more Islamic constitution, for more fundamentalism, for implementing Sharia as their constitution, etc. Um, and so they want to be pulling things farther backwards. And the issue is that, you know, like that's not in their own economic and geopolitical interest. I mean, for obvious reasons. Um, and so there are these competing forces within Kuwait between, you know, this intense religious conservatism, and then it's maybe not even about Israel necessarily. It's just about economic pragmatism. You know what I mean? And so
Having a
this is
normal
this is
relationship
causing a
with countries in the
contention.
region.
Sorry, say
Right.
that again?
Basically, being a normal country that has relationships with other countries instead of fighting with everybody, right? Basically,
Yeah, that
just
are their neighbors.
understanding neighbors. Yeah.
Um,
So Amir is saying, what economic pragmatism? I'm curious. Yep, basically having friendly relationships with other economic powerhouses around the neighborhood. That's a huge economic, like
yeah.
putting not prioritizing ideology over economic interest of your citizens, and basically having friendly trade and relationship and and security guarantees from each other around that neighborhood. Yeah, but go on, Susanna, what did you find?
She was sentenced to 3 years in jail because of this,
Wow.
just a few days ago. The sentencing came out. She was sentenced to 3 years in jail for this. Crazy. And so basically the contention was is that they were saying that she was calling for normalization with Israel and spreading false information about Kuwait's intention to normalize, as if she had been like promoting that idea. And she said, "No, I'm not saying that we're going to. I was saying that if we did, I would visit Israel." And they
Hmm.
filed a complaint against her, accusing her of damaging the country's interests and violating the
Wow.
quote unified law for boycotting Israel of 1964 and
So she
broadcasting
didn't even
false
say.
news about potential normalization. Sentenced to 3 years in jail for this.
So she didn't. So she got 3 years for saying that if we normalize, I'm not saying we should. If we normalize relationship with Israel, I will go there. She got 3 years for that.
Yeah.
This actually shows how radical some Iranians have become, because in Iran, I don't know if you know this, Susanna, the daughter of Hashemi Rafsanjani, which was a previous president in Iran, she said that she is for uh, normalization of relationship with Israel.
Really? I didn't hear that
Yes,
news.
and not only she said that my father, when he was alive, the former president, was. Some people are saying, I don't know if she's lying or not, but she's claiming that her father was advocating for that as well. Like he was. She's saying, like, she said it as if so casually, like, my father was not for the idea for us to at some point even talk with Israel. So she just came out and said that in a recent interview. By the way, we don't like her because she's a reformist, right? She's not like a. So the reason a lot of people think that the reason why these reformists are saying this is because the government in Iran is basically slowly falling apart, and the reformists are trying to save it by signaling to people that there is a way, that there's a new regime that we could have in Iran, that is still the Islamic Republic, that will have friendly relationship with the United States and maybe even Israel, that is still the Islamic Republic would not topple. So this is like a lot of people who want the regime to in Iran to topple. They say, don't be fooled by these signals of these so-called reformists. But anyway, but the thing is that this is something, um, the daughter of a regime, of the highest regime official, right? Like Hashemi Rafsanjani um, was the person that put Khamenei in power. The supreme leader is the supreme leader because that's how high he was at some point. And his daughter now in Iran is saying that we want to get to a point where we could even talk to Israel, which is an insane suggestion, radical suggestion coming out of Iran.
Um, I just wanted to clarify a little bit about what she was actually sentenced on. So she was sentenced to 3 years in prison on charges of spreading false news and misusing the internet. So basically,
Mhm.
she was originally attained because she was promoting normalization. Because apparently she's appeared on Israeli news in the past and been like, yeah, I support normalization. But apparently she was acquitted of the specific charge of promoting normalization. And then they found her guilty of like other online activity, um, misusing the internet. And she had to
Mm.
apologize online. And now the Iraqi
That's what.
embassy is trying to sue her.
What? How's the
Yeah,
Iraqi embassy get him?
I don't know. And then they withdrew the lawsuit because she apologized. And then she's going to quit her political work. Ay, ay,
I mean,
ay.
I think it's quite obvious that this is for her Israel take.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
and
Her legal
yeah.
trouble in Iraq stemmed from a video in January where she criticized the Iraqi parliament's majority vote to end the US presence in Iraq.
Wow.
I mean, that's
Everyone
her
has after
opinion.
this. Yeah.
God damn.
They're coming after her.
And they're
They're coming
suing her
after
for
her
that? Or
for
they tried to?
so
Jeez.
many governments. This woman has two governments coming after her for her opinions.
Yeah.
So she seems to be just a woman with liberal
So
views
someone
with
who wants
normalized
more security in the region, God forbid.
more more stability, more better relationship with Western countries and Israel. They're just coming after her for whatever reason. Seems like
Yeah.
it. Anyways, let's look at the comments that Dee selected for us. What's this one? What?
Someone saying this should have been settled in 1990.
What? Kuwaiti media icon
Are you
detained
talking
for
about the Gulf
advocating
War?
So the title of this news says Kuwaiti media icon detained for advocating normalization with Israel. This person is saying this should have been settled in 1990. Maybe talking about when the world came and
Yeah.
saved Kuwait from Saddam. Is that what they're just saying? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What about this
Guess.
comment?
This person is saying this is a nasty country that flies under the radar. There is a decent amount of Islamist activity happening there that I haven't been paying attention to, but I'm starting to a bit more.
I mean, if there's one country that is supposed to be grateful and the most grateful to the world liberal order, it should be Kuwait. Given that the world liberal order just became so more united than ever before, ever since World War II, we have never seen so many countries joining, like getting together to save Kuwait from Saddam. And this is how you behave, Kuwait, instead of being thankful to to the rest of the civilized world. You act like such an Islamist. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, that's it. So
Um, Wait, let me make sure that you can hear me. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Cool,
Everything's fine.
cool,
You
cool.
having mic problems? Oh,
No headphone problems. Um,
okay.
okay, let's go to the next news because this is some interesting internal.
Susie, you're forgetting the super
Oh my
chats
god.
again. I'm here on this
Lo
channel
siento.
defending
Lo
our
siento.
super chats. Please send us more super chats. I'm here to defend you. No, let it go. Read them.
GJ gave a super chat. Thank you, GJ, saying as an ex-Protestant from a fess on Sunday.
I don't know what this means.
Sin on from a fess on Monday, sin on Monday, Catholic town. I fear even nominal people willing to do fasting dusk till dawn for a month. What will they do in extreme times? So I'm gathering that GJ is saying that still thinks that people that do ritualized fasting are too religious for his
I don't
preference
know.
because he finds
This
that
requires decoding.
no, he's saying that he thinks that the fasting for a month is extreme. So he's saying, what are they capable of doing in extreme times if that's their normal?
Yeah, I don't know. Are you talking about Muslims fasting for a month? Muslims?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Muslims fasting for a month is actually idiotic, because especially because it's dry fasting. Okay, if there's anything that it comes, if there's any benefits from fasting, it's water fasting. Dry fasting is horrible for your health. It doesn't make you tougher. It actually makes you weaker. Okay,
No, but
dry
that's not
fasting
his
makes you
problem. His
weaker.
problem is that he finds the
I don't.
behavior to be so extreme, and he's saying if that's normal, that you called the nominal Muslims, what
Oh,
are they gonna say what are they gonna do when things are actually extreme? Because he finds the normal nominal behavior extreme.
yeah, but by extreme, I'm talking about somebody who thinks like my head needs to be chopped off because I'm an ex-Muslim. I'm not talking about somebody who's hurting their health by not drinking water from dawn to dusk. So that's not what if you want to call that extreme, yeah, I mean I can see why that was extreme, but that's not what I'm referring to. But thank you for the super chat.
Yeah.
I
Um,
mean, most Muslims who fast do not do other extreme things, just to be clear.
oh, Asian American gave a super chat saying, "Have you heard about our new faith office in the fight against anti-Christian bias?" I actually haven't.
Oh yeah, I've seen that isn't that lady, that crazy lady in charge, that lady that speaks in tongues in charge of it. Yeah,
Not that bitch again.
Trump put Trump created a faith office and put the craziest person possible in charge of it. Like,
Is it that
so
Paula
yeah, that is,
White lady?
yeah, I think so. It's that woman who speaks in tongues.
Dude, there's so many Christians who are like, "This is so cringe."
Yeah. This actually that's so true, Susie.
There's so
Without
many,
seeing it,
especially the trad Catholics. The trad
yes.
Catholics look down on this so much, you have no idea. It's just really fulfilling all of their opinions that Protestantism is corruption.
It's so interesting that the more of the complaints regarding this came from Christian than atheists, because Christians were like, "This is gonna make us look crazy."
Yeah.
But yeah, all
Meanwhile,
right. So
Catholics are like, "See, guys, we were right." The Orthodox are like, "See, guys, we're right.
yeah. This guy. All
Protestantism
right.
is just trashy.
Trashy.
It's crass. It's tacky. It's just tacky. There's
It's
where's the
true.
gravitas, huh? Where's the
Yeah,
gravitas?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, Catholics, I mean, I know they have their own problems, especially with children, but at least when it comes to aesthetics and design and rituals, there's some elegance to it. You
It's
know what I mean? Like
it's
when you,
about splendor
yes,
and
yes.
capturing splendor that is worthy of articulating the splendor of Christ and his salvation.
Oh, wow, you know your kid. That's that's a very way. That's a very clever way of defending all this, spending
The
all this
spending.
money on this. Yeah, like how do you make the person who said the meek shall inherit the earth, and going to heaven is going to be as difficult for a rich man as a camel going through the eye of a needle? How are you going to turn that religion and excuse all this spending and all this all these treasures and all these giant buildings? That's how Catholics do it. Like you have to.
No, that's
That was
literally
very
like that's me paraphrasing from a description in a cathedral in Spain I visited recently last year.
right. That's clever. That's clever. It
I mean,
works.
to
It
be fair,
works.
the craftsmanship is incredible.
Yeah. Actually,
Anyways,
to be fair, no, what just once, the Bible is, if you are anti-capitalism, the Bible works more in your favor. Okay.
yeah.
If Islam is more capitalistic, like more in line with capitalism than Christianity. Christianity is better for somebody who wants to fight capitalism.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.